Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and this reading is going to be for you if you're single and you're looking for love. I've laid the cards out already in a Celtic cross, which is my favourite pattern or spread, and I'm using a different deck today because I just felt like it really. I felt like I wanted a different deck for single people. So let's dive straight in. The centre of the situation, we have the Ten of Swords, which looks pretty grim, but in reality, it means you're ready for a change. It could be that you've been in a similar situation for a long time. It might mean that you've been single for a long time and you're ready for a change from that. Or it might mean that a situation that you've been in, possibly with somebody else, has come to an end and you're now single. So we won't know exactly which resonates for each person, but it's likely to be one of those two scenarios, I would think. Although there are 10 swords in here and this has caused an element of upset, so you're either upset at being single for a long time and ready for a change, or you've been in a situationship or a relationship that's broken down and that's caused upset and you are now single and ready for a change. Regardless of that, there is hope. There is a new dawn in the background, but there's no two ways about it. Ten of Swords is the ending of something that's ultimately been quite painful. So we could view it as a very positive card, actually, because we've started at the end, if you like. So what comes after the end is a new beginning. So let's view it as a positive card for now. What is interesting is what's crossing that. So the obstacle, in a way, or what's preventing a new start, I suppose we could say, or what was preventing the ending, is the Ten of Cups, which is the happy family card. This is a card of getting everything you want, really. I view it as young happiness. I know that sounds a little bit strange. There's the Ten of Pentacles, which is more like a grown-up happy ever after. So it's possible that the happily ever after that was on offer for you was not quite right. Maybe it wasn't stable enough. Maybe you weren't able to have a family with somebody and that's why you're single. Might actually have to get some clarifiers for this, because we've got, just to be clear, the ending of one situation prevented by the happiness of another situation, which is slightly backwards, really. Or maybe it's that you can't start. Hang on, I think I might have it. Possibly you don't feel like you can start anew because you have a family. So maybe you're a single parent and the family is feeling like an obstacle to you being able to start again. That's a better sort of scenario. That scenario makes more sense, to be honest. So there could be family which is preventing you from moving yourself forward out of a single situation. What's really lovely, though, on the top of the situation, what's crowning the spread, which is obvious to you, definitely, but also to other people, is that you're fine. You're fine as you are. You know your own worth. You're stable. You've got enough money. And you're sort of really in your own power, I suppose, is a way to put it. The Queen of Pentacles, for a long, long time, I found this card difficult to read because of all the queens. It's not, the Queen of Wands is the Queen of creative thinking and intuition. The Queen of Cups is the Queen of love and care. The Queen of Swords is of quick thinking and being decisive. The Queen of Pentacles I used to find difficult to read because she's the Queen of money and stability. And although those are things that most feminines need, and forgive me for saying that if you're a masculine watching this isn't gender specific, but it's not really most females' goal, I wouldn't say. However, I then did realise what this card actually relates to, and it is to self-worth. So you can see she's holding her pentacle there, or her coin, and she is the queen of self-worth, knowing your own worth. And for some of us, me included, it can take a really, really, really long time to recognise your own worth. But that is very clear and obvious in this reading, that you know your own worth, and so does everybody else. Potentially, that of course could be keeping you single, because you wouldn't be accepting anything less than what you deserve, which would be a good thing, but would also keep you in a position where you feel like you're not moving forward. However, whether that's the case or not, it's important not to lower your standards for somebody who might not make you happy in the long term. I firmly believe that. In the hidden position, or what's underneath, or what underpins the story, we've got another 10 here. So we have the 10 of Wands. This is the card of putting down a very heavy burden. This is probably, and this is what is not seen by other people. So if we link this in to the Queen of Pentacles, to the majority of the world, you're living your life in a fine and happy way with everything you need. What most people don't understand is that what you've got, you find hard, and that actually your heart is yearning for something else. This is hard work, doing everything on your own. And whether you have a family or not, it's still hard to do everything on your own. And you've had enough of that. Not everybody knows this. This might not be something you voice to other people. I'm going to take another couple of cards from the bottom of the deck there, just to underpin that story. Wowie, wow, 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 wow. Unbelievable. If you've been finding it hard, things are changing, I would say, for the better pretty soon, because to clarify that hard situation, we have 2 aces. Now, aces are always new starts. They're often divinely presented. So you might be presented with a situation that you haven't been expecting. But in any case, the Ace of Pentacles can be a windfall, a lump of money, winning the lottery. It can be a new home. It can also be an engagement. So if you've been waiting, it would seem strange if you've been waiting for somebody to offer you engagement if you're single. But maybe somebody's thinking of coming back to offer you something. We'll find out a bit more later. The Ace of Wands is creative thinking, dynamic energy. It can also be sex. New beginnings, most definitely. So in this, what's felt like a very difficult situation, living a single life, or being a single parent, or feeling the burdens of being alone, that is changing. You can't see it yet. This is in the hidden position. It's not obvious to you yet, but this is very, very definitely changing. In the past position, we have the King of Pentacles. Interestingly, we've already got the Queen of Pentacles crowning the top. So possibly you're single because a marriage broke up, because these are a married pair, King and Queen. So that is a possibility. If that's not the scenario, then the King of Pentacles in the past position might mean that you've left a situation that was quite stable and financially beneficial, perhaps for something else. Maybe you've changed jobs, or maybe you left, maybe you moved out of home, and you're where you were quite comfortable, and now you're living on your own and everything's much harder. It's that sort of feeling that you might have left an easier life behind, or a more comfortable life behind. The future position, though, is really, really interesting. We've got another king. So this could be a masculine energy that you're going to meet in the future. Or if we treat it as a situation, then you're moving from what was a stable situation to another stable situation, to something that actually will suit you better. This is much clearer energy. So if you left something behind that wasn't quite right for you, the situation, if this is referring to a situation, will become a lot clearer. King of Swords, the Swords energy is about thinking and clarity. So you could be moving from a situation perhaps where you were dependent on someone else for money to a situation where your way forward is going to be clearer. This can also represent a lawyer. So actually, if you're single because you're going through a divorce, that looks like that's rolling along fairly well, I would say, because we don't have any negative cards here. We've got 2 cards of endings and 2 cards of new beginnings. A broken, possibly a broken marriage, and a family card that is preventing someone from getting what they want, or potentially feeling like getting what they want. So that's the scenario as is at the moment. Now let's find out what's going to happen. So the 4 of Wands is in your position. So glad tidings are on the way. You are going to be much happier. There is going to be well, it feels to me like a happy union is on its way. This can also be the twin flame card. If you're not familiar with that phrase, it means a very strong soul connection, really, meeting your other half in a way. So this is a really lovely card to have if you're feeling fairly despondent, like you've got nothing to look forward to. Then I would suggest to you that you are completely wrong, because you've already got the happily ever after card followed by a celebration card with a very, very strong soul connection. So actually everything you want, you've got at your fingertips. It doesn't seem like it's quite coming together yet, but it's all here ready for you. In the home position, this is messages and communication. Wands is creative thinking as well, but this is particularly to do with messages coming in. So if you've been waiting on messages to clear something up, if you're in the midst of a divorce, let's say, then things will move along a bit quicker. This is faster energy. And it's going to be good news. For some reason, I wanted to say these are well-meaning ones. Now, I don't know why on earth I want to say that. I think it must mean that the messages coming in are going to be of good news. Or well-meaning, meaning well. If you haven't, or if you haven't been feeling very well, you'll have good news to do with well-being, well-meaning. I might have to get another clarifier for that card, to be honest. I'm not, in fact I will. I don't quite know what the 8 of Wands message is referring to, please. Well, divine guidance. There are 3 angels in the deck and Temperance is one of them. So the messages are being hurried on through for you by the divine or by angels, angel messages. We might take an angel card actually, just to, at the end of this, just to get another reading on that, because this angel is feeling very pertinent. Temperance itself is all about balance. So if perhaps you've been waiting to balance something out to do with divorce or separation, then that is improving. If it's relating to the fact that you've been very unhappy, then that will improve. If it relates to the fact that your family has become a bit of a problem or has prevented you from moving forward, that also is going to improve. It's a very positive card to have. You've got a lot of very positive cards. The hopes and fears position. Now, this is interesting. I've just said you've got a lot of very positive cards, but you don't feel like you've got a lot of very positive cards. You're feeling like everything is a bit gloomy. And that's relating back to this situation that you're in. Something's died or is finished, and you can't clearly see your way forward. You're stuck in a bit of a quagmire at the moment of, dare I say it, negative thinking, because this card is in the hopes and fears position. This is often called the wounded warrior, and this is just before the end. So it's the same with everything, really. A lot of situations get worse before they get better. So you've got the ending in the unseen position. You can't see it yet. You still feel like everything is really difficult, and you're fearing that it's always going to be that way. Well, we know it's not. You just can't see it yet. So that is a fear. I would like it if you could turn your fears into hopes, to be honest. I might take another clarifier for why do we have the 9 of Wands in the fear position? What is it that this single person is afraid of? And I mean, so many different people will have different thoughts about this. So it is worth me asking. Well, this is fascinating. This is the Page of Swords. This is a card of communication as well, and it's often to do with the internet or online. Perhaps you're afraid to get involved in online dating. I don't know. That's a strange position to clarify. Why are you afraid? And we've got a card of online messages. Why would you be afraid of online messages coming in? Perhaps you're afraid to put yourself out there. Perhaps you've lost your oh, I feel a little bit like crying. Perhaps you've lost all of your confidence. And although you've got the card of self-worth, which is crowning the whole situation and obvious to everybody, maybe you don't, maybe your confidence has taken a real knock and you don't feel like that. That's really made me feel a bit like crying. I feel quite upset that you feel as bad as this. That's a very strong negative feeling. The 9 of Wands, you don't feel like you've got the confidence to put yourself out there. And yet you can. We've got another card of balance. So we've got 2 balance cards here. I think your perception of yourself is off. I think that your confidence has taken a monumental hard knock. And because of it, you can't see anything positive. I hate to say this. You can't see much positive about yourself, and you can't see why anybody would want you. That hurt to say out loud. I had to say that very quickly. That's a sad situation to find yourself in. And, you know, we've got a lot here of very positive cards. So I hope that that is a situation that is going to change. I seem to be shuffling again, so let's see what else I'm going to find out. The 6 of Pentacles, just to tell you, this clarifying card that I took, this is, not only is it about balance, but it's also about getting what you deserve. Fair treatment. You know, and also I can't help feeling that if you don't feel like you're worth putting the effort into, why would anybody else? So you sort of have to turn that feeling around, because you are worth the effort, and somebody else would love to, well, I can't help saying snap you up. Snap you up is what I want to say. I feel like that relates to that 9 of Wands, feeling like you know, you're exhausted by the whole thing. I wonder if you've been trying online dating and it's not been working, I feel like maybe you should give it another go, because it seems to me like you've got some much more positive energy to come there. Obviously, I'm not telling you what to do. I've tried the online dating. I had great fun for about 6 months, but then I'd had enough of it. So I completely understand if it doesn't suit you. I'm just going to stop that for now. The outcome card we have is the Eight of Pentacles, and this does talk about working on yourself or working alone. It's a positive card. However, it's only positive if the working on yourself and working alone is actually benefiting you. If you have decided to hide yourself away because you can't stand the rest of the world, or throwing yourself out there again to look for love, then this is quite negative as an outcome. If, however, you've just gone through a breakup or going through a divorce or something, and you're worried about being single and how you're going to cope, then this is a positive card, because all the while that you're working on your own, you're developing your self-worth. You're growing your self-worth. Yeah, in fact, you're growing your self-worth hugely. Self-worth. That's interesting. I said self-wealth. So it could be that maybe you're focused on your finances, and I was talking about working on yourself, but it might be working on your finances. Either way, that is a positive card if what it's doing is bettering yourself. If, however, what it's doing is hiding you away from other people, then it's not a good card to get. So let's just get a clarifier here, because the Eight of Pentacles is working on yourself, working on your worth, and working on your wealth. So I would like to just have another card to clarify why we have the Eight of Pentacles in the outcome position. Why do we have the Eight of Pentacles as the outcome for the single person in the outcome position? The single person who's looking for love, actually. Right. Ooh, we got two. Ooh. Well, interesting. We've got the Queen of Wands, the intuitive queen, creative queen. We've also got the Knight of Wands. This is the knight, really, who wants to come in and have some fun, I would say. Let's see, what is that relating to then if you're single? Maybe that's a concern of yours, that actually you, or maybe you would like just to have a bit of fun and a bit of light-hearted relief from a difficult situation. Or perhaps you worry that that's all you're going to be able to find. And I think that might relate a little bit to the internet dating that I was talking about before. I think a lot of this reading is about perception, and I feel like some of your perception is off. And I'm not saying anything negative to you, because I completely understand how that's come about. You've been through a very difficult period of time. It's taken an awful lot out of you. If you've been single for a really long time, then you're exhausted by this. If you're going through a divorce or some sort of separation, frankly, you're a bit terrified of being on your own, and very fearful of what could be. Right, I feel like that is not good enough, frankly. So I'm either going to get another deck of cards out, or I'm going to put some more cards out from this deck. I'm going to put some more cards out from this deck. So I'm going to take these away, and I'm going to ask a few more questions. Ah, that's interesting. The bottom card there is a card of resistance. So somewhere within this reading, you're resisting the change that needs to come along in order to bring you into partnership with somebody. You're resisting it for some reason. I think what I'm going to do is put out some cards in a different format. Oh, we have a card of happiness. So if you are resisting dating or online dating or putting yourself out there, or even the concept of going on a date, if you are resisting that, then because you think there's no point, I think you would be surprised, because this is the card of happiness. And actually you can, it could, well, even if you only have fun, it could be good for you. It's good to go out and have fun, even if you don't meet your other half. I feel like perhaps your life is lacking fun. Let's see, what else have we got? Wishes coming true. The world. Right. And underneath. You reap what you sow. Reaping what you sow. Right, what we've got here. Happiness and wishes coming true. So it's like you can't see the way forward. And yet what you want, you can't have without moving forward. So it's time, really. The World card is definitely a card of movement forward and change and new beginnings. And I feel like possibly you might meet somebody foreign, or maybe you already know somebody foreign. We have the Five of Pentacles here. This is the card of feeling like you haven't got what you want. And that is pretty much what the reading was talking about. You had a lot of positive cards in that reading. And yet you can't see any of it currently. So you're in a bit of a lack mentality, I would say. But, and good news, that is changing. You're not really, these are both cards of movement and change. You're not really quite ready to get things rolling along just yet, but you are making strides forward towards it. That's guided as well. Somewhere on the inside of you, I think you know that it's time to make a change. And at the bottom of the deck there, we had, this is the card of getting your just desserts, really, reaping what you sow, harvesting. So if you've been in a pretty negative mindset for a long time, then it's time to change that mindset into a more positive one. You need to pick up the positive energy, really, in order to find a happy union. I don't want those. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, look. Ooh. Wow. Yep. There are options out there. We've got the Knight of Cups. This is a knight with a positive love offer. Could be a younger man coming to offer you something in a loving way. Offering his cup of love. He's possibly a little bit dreamy, a little bit airy-fairy for you. Possibly a bit wishy-washy. I have a feeling that there might be somebody like this in your life who wants to offer you something and you're not that sure about. You've also got the Knight of Pentacles here. I should say Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Knight of Pentacles, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Now, this could be another man, or it could be the same man. And this is a very, very slow-moving Knight. If I put these two together and read them as one person, this would be a loving man who wants to make an offer towards you but does not know how to do it or cannot bring himself to actually step forward and make that offer yet. I don't know why. Perhaps he's tried once before, because here we've got the card of partnership. So this is a happy ever after. This is a true connection. This is finding your other half. So to me, it seems like you've got nothing but offers. But for some reason, you've got all these offers to get you what you want. But for some reason, you can't see it, or it's not good enough for you. So you need to make a slight change to your thinking in order to get this partnership card. I don't want you to feel like I'm telling you what you need to do in a reading. That really isn't my goal. But in this situation where you've had so many positive cards and yet the overall feeling is that you are still not happy with what's on offer, I feel like it's time to make a little tweak to your thinking. Maybe go on the date. If somebody's asked you out and you don't think they're right for you, maybe just go and see what happens. If you don't want to try online dating, but one of your friends is really trying to persuade you, just have a go. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen is that you don't meet someone, but that's the state you're in now anyway. The best that can happen is that you have multiple options to choose from, one of whom is going to be the real deal. So please make that change, and it's only a small change, it's just a little tweak mentally, and bring about a happier outcome. I just would like to see what's on the bottom of the deck. Aha! Oh, good. Right. This is another message, okay? And it can be a love letter. It could be an apology. Now, if I link this boy, so it could be from a younger man, but if I link him in with this Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, it could be that somebody did make an offer in the past, or wanted to make an offer in the past, or broke up with you in the past. Maybe things didn't quite, maybe somebody had thought, maybe you thought somebody had potential and it didn't work out. And that's why you've been in a difficult situation. If that's the case, I'm pretty sure that you might be getting to hear from that person again, and there may well be an apology. If that's not the case, then you could have an offer that comes in and it feels really, really small, like it might not even be worth the effort. But I would urge you to go, no matter how small, because you have got love as the outcome. Right, well, I think I'm going to leave it there. Good luck in changing your mindset and accepting what's on offer. And I really hope you find that love that you're looking for. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.